Welcome to Knifeless Multi-Tool Auditions. My name is Anne and I work in a hospital where I cannot carry a knife. So what I'm looking for is a multi-tool that I can carry in a hospital that helps with hospital type of tasks and is going to pair well with the two things I already carry. First of all, the Leatherman Raptor Rescues. These are fantastic shears. I think that the Leatherman Raptor Responses would work just as well. The shears are great, the ring cutter is awesome, and it also has an oxygen tank wrench right here. Just what I need, but it doesn't have any tools on it. I also carry the Victorinox Swiss Card Lite. This has several functions that I use on a regular basis. I love this teeny flashlight, which is just bright enough for the tasks I need it for. I love the magnifying glass, which lets me read even really tiny print, and I also actually use the scissors even though I'm carrying the shears. Additionally, there's a pen in here that for some reason I have never lost. And no matter how many times I lose my regular pen, I've never lost this guy. So it's always there for me in a slim and complete package. Now, this does have some teeny tiny flat little screwdrivers on here, but I'd like something a little more robust. Until recently, I carried a Gerber MP600 Bladeless, and honestly, it earned its place with me. I found tons of uses for the pliers here at work, and I almost never have a use for pliers at home. It's crazy how useful those were. Likewise, the tool set on there was, a little over the top for here, but it was fine. Unfortunately, there were two problems. Number one, it is ugly and it does not look like it fits in with something that I ought to be carrying around here. And two, it broke. This little knob that connects the pliers to the handle actually unscrewed itself and fell off. Now that happened once, I found it and fixed it, but then it happened again and I never found the pieces. And honestly, because it's so ugly and it draws the wrong kind of attention every time I bring it out, I opted just to not fix it. Also, it's kind of big. That's where this comes in. This is actually the Swiss+Tech 8-in-1. It is a tiny little folded up pliers, and honestly, I really hesitated before even spending $10 on this. I assumed the quality would be low, but the reviews on Amazon were pretty good, so I went for it. The way this works is the handles fold down like this, which does give it a little bit of weird flexibility or instability in here, but I haven't found it to be a problem. And in fact, these pliers are awesome. These are actually way more awesome than the pliers on the Gerber MP600 Bladeless for the tasks that I see people doing around here. So I'm sitting here editing and I realize that it sounds like what I'm saying here is that I think that the Swiss+Tech is better than the Gerber MP600 Bladeless. Oh my gosh, it obviously totally is not. It is way worse. The things that it has going for it are that it is not broken and it does not freak people out when I bring it out in the hospital. It doesn't look out of place. I don't look like I'm going to, take somebody apart or dismantle their bed rather than take care of them or whatever. So, that is definitely an upside that I think it counts for something when it comes to the MP600 Bladeless versus the Swiss+Tech 8-in-1. But still, the Gerber's a better tool. The number one task for this is when IV parts get stuck together. This is the right size to grab onto one side so you can really untwist the other side and unstick them. It also happens to be the right size for some little connectors that connect up to some of the ventilators here, and it grabs onto them really well. It also is suitable for larger tasks like turning on an oxygen tank. Now, it was not easy, but I definitely was able to use this. Would not be my first choice, but again, I already have the oxygen tank wrench on here, not to mention all of the oxygen tanks are supposed to have their own wrench on them anyway, so this is like a third tier oxygen tank opener, and it does actually work, although it's not super easy. The other thing that's interesting about this is that it's sized just right to remove the caps from bottles of medications, which is sometimes done by nurses before they pour the medication out. It's a really useful and surprisingly sturdy feeling pliers. Unfortunately, what's not so good is what's in the handles. And what's in the handles is very simple and honestly looks very cool, but until you try to use it, you might not realize some of the drawbacks. So what we've got here is two different screwdrivers, a flathead and a Phillips head. And inside each of these screwdrivers is hidden another screwdriver. So if you can see here, when I fold down the big screwdriver, I've got this little flathead screwdriver inside here, and when I fold down this Phillips screwdriver, I've got a little Phillips screwdriver hidden inside here. It's very cool. The sizes are great, and I actually have used these to work on different little things around here. Our refrigerator handle was loose and it happened to have Phillips screws, things like that. It does work. However, there's a real instability problem with this. So these are not only not locking, they completely have like no detent or anything. The way that initially made the most sense to use this to me, oh, this happens sometimes too, it gets stuck and then you have to go around the other direction with the plier handle. I'm not sure why that is. Not a huge deal, definitely not a deal breaker for me, but kind of weird. I mean, I hate to give tools credit for being cheap, but it is only 10 bucks and it's only a small amount of time that you have to spend flipping it around the other way. Anyway, I thought this made the most sense to use this as a pliers, or as a screwdriver, but you have this kind of instability, plus you have this instability in here, and it's hard to know how to use it. Holding it like this, you get like good torque, but at the same time, you can fold this right over this way, and it's pretty easily folded. So I guess you have to hold it up even further. I don't know, it's not great. I thought it would be better if I actually closed it up this way, feeling like this pliers should keep this from falling over. But it kind of doesn't. It does go this far. It's an improvement. Still not great. But the real problem with this setup comes when you try to use the little screwdriver that's inside the big one. Because while you close this up and you think you're going to decrease the play, I mean you do, but it still is this much, which is quite a lot. It is really super annoying to have this kind of not only not locking, but completely loose driver that's also so small, there's no way you can grab it. So, you know, it's a bit of a swing and a miss as far as that goes. However, the frequency with which I use screwdrivers around here, not super high. The utility of this pliers is awesome. So for now, this is going to stay with me. Thank you very much for coming to Knifeless Multi-Tool Auditions, and I'll see you next time.